Courage is like a muscle. If you use it, it becomes stronger. It stays fit. If you don't use it, it gets flabby. It atrophies. And after a while, it doesn't work very well. You and I are going to have some real tests of courage in the coming weeks and months. And I encourage you, stay with me. If you want to be taught what to say, the different ways in which you can say it, if you want to be encouraged to embrace God's will and destiny for you and to have the courage to do it, stay with me. And I'll tell you this one lesson about courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what is right in spite of your fears. There have been many times when I've stood and my knees were knocking. Fortunately, I had baggy pants on, no one could see. But I did the right thing. I said the right thing. And that's what matters. All right, we have some questions we have to ask. What might come from the hand of God because of this decision? And then, of course, what do we do? Our duty as Christians is to strive to see all of life, to see all events, especially events like this, in the light of God's truth, and to respond to what is happening, not as free moral agents, but as his servants, okay? From heaven's perspective, the only crime against God and man, the attack on marriage of the Supreme Court just unleashed, the only sin, crime that's worse, is the shedding of innocent blood. If you look back to the book of Genesis, the first one is your brother's blood is crying out to me for vengeance. And then when you see the angels come down and meet with Abraham, we see that the cry of the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah is crying up to heaven, okay? We cannot overestimate the danger that this ruling puts us in. The scripture says, the wicked strut about on every side when vileness is exalted among the sons of men. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see wicked people strutting around. We're going to see, you've seen it in movies where someone suddenly comes to power and they've got their horsewhip. You will do what I say. Listen, it's vileness. God says that two men having sexual relations with each other is an abomination. Look at Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Behavior such as this is why he destroyed the 7 Canaanite nations. That was the promised land that the Jews took, okay? St. Paul, the apostle, wrote that those who practice such deeds have been given over to a depraved mind, and those who do such things are worthy of death. Sodom and Gomorrah met a brutal end because of this sin. And friend, God does not change. There's a lot of well-meaning Christians who foolishly think that God changes with the times. He used to think that certain things were sins, but not anymore. No. We must not shrug our shoulders and think, this is no big deal. This will have devastating consequences. When you talk about this, you can remember, you can call to the homosexual who's trapped in that lifestyle and say, God will forgive you. God will set you free from this sin. But you still have to say, it's a sin. And here's the thing. We don't get to change the rules. You can say it with a shrill voice. You can say it with a loving voice. But we don't get to change the rules. God made the rules about human sexuality and about marriage. We don't get to change them. So when you're talking to people, sinners or friends, remember, separate the two. Issue 1 is this person is trapped in this lifestyle. Issue 2 is they're trying to change the rules and say that it's not a sin. No, there is a God in heaven. He made the rules, and we are not God.